The target vocabulary for this section are the nouns alacrity, anecdote, conjecture, skirmish, and zeal. Let's get ready to study 5 more nouns. Here is word number 1. Word number 1 is alacrity, which means with speed and enthusiasm. For example, I accepted the new job offer with alacrity because I was eager to leave my boring office job. This person was offered a job and had the chance to escape their boring office job. So she accepted the new job with alacrity, with speed and enthusiasm. This means she was really eager to accept it. She wanted it really, really badly. Imagine if a man proposes to a woman. He bends down on one knee and says, "Will you marry me?" If she accepts with alacrity, that means she accepts straight away. She says yes without any hesitation. So with alacrity means to do something with speed and enthusiasm. Let's look at word number 2. Word number 2 is anecdote, which means a short, interesting or funny story about something someone has done. For example, John is full of humorous anecdotes about his travels around the world. So an anecdote is a short and interesting story about something that someone has done. So this person, John, has traveled around the world, so he has lots of really good stories to tell about his adventures. So he is full of anecdotes. He's full of these stories. When I was at school, I had a history teacher. He was a very old man, but because he was old, he had lots and lots of life experience. He was full of anecdotes. He would always tell us stories about things he had done in his life. They were very, very interesting. So you can describe a short story like this as an anecdote. Let's look at word number 3 now. Word number 3 is conjecture, which means a guess about something without any evidence. For example, there has been a lot of conjecture about the Queen's condition recently, but she appears to be in perfect health. In this example, there's lots of conjecture about the Queen's health. There are lots of guesses, lots of rumors about the Queen being in bad health. But actually, she appears to be in good health. So a lot of the time, conjecture turns out to be false, because it's more like a rumor without any evidence. Rumors circulate and they grow into something that is completely false. So this is conjecture. It's really just a guess without much evidence. Imagine if there's a plane crash and immediately people start guessing about the cause of the crash. Well, this is conjecture because there's no evidence to back it up immediately after the crash. So people start suspecting terrorism, they start suspecting pilot suicide, they start suspecting all these things. But this is all conjecture until we really find out what happened. So that is conjecture, a guess based on zero evidence. Let's look at the next word now. Word number 4 is skirmish, which means a small fight or argument. For example, Marie had a skirmish with her landlord about the increasing of her monthly rent. A skirmish can be a small fight or an argument. Now, the fight could be physical, or it could simply be verbal confrontation. It depends on the context. In this example where Marie had a skirmish with her landlord, we can guess from the context that it's probably simply a verbal confrontation, not physical. So they're arguing about the rent payment. On the other hand, if I say skirmishes broke out around the nation, we can guess from the context that this is probably physical violence, physical fighting. Maybe a controversial leader took over the nation and rival groups began fighting each other. So in this case, a skirmish is probably a physical fight. So depending on the context, could be physical, could simply be verbal. Now let's move on to the last word. Word number 5 is zeal, which means great energy, effort, and enthusiasm. For example, the woman's zeal for helping the poor and changing the world is an inspiration to everyone. Zeal means you have lots of energy, enthusiasm, and effort for doing something. In this case, the woman had zeal for helping poor people. She had lots of energy and she put lots of effort into this cause. So this is a really, really good thing. Steve Jobs, the late founder of Apple, had a zeal for creating beautiful products, beautiful electronics. The iPhone, the iPad, Apple computers. He had a zeal for creating beautiful products. So it's great energy, great effort, and real enthusiasm for doing something. So those are the 5 words. Now it's time to move on to the pronunciation training. I'll see you there.